Here's what you should know about your local housing market in this week's Market Update. We're at a very interesting time, both in the housing market and in general here in New Jersey. This coming weekend that we're coming up on right now is Labor Day weekend. Some schools have started this past week, but most area schools are starting next week. So for the past 2 weeks, we've had a lot of people on vacation. It's been blowing my mind. 2 weeks ago, I was away, and then this past week, driving around downtown Morristown was like a ghost town. Nobody here. It was pretty amazing. Not to mention that, and in terms of the deals that I'm doing, a lot of the emails I'm sending out, I'm immediately getting out of office replies, getting kicked back. So what does that mean for the housing market? Well, the stats are kind of sluggish for the last 2 weeks, and that's to be expected. I've got a lot of sellers, and rightfully so, that are waiting until next week to get their houses on the market. They didn't want to put their house on the market and have all the buyers be on vacation, and release that to the market with lackluster demand. So not only the past 2 weeks are really interesting because a lot of people are on vacation, a lot of people are checked out, but also, well, next week we come back after Labor Day and all of a sudden we are in fall market. Now, not always does that mean anything super drastic. However, we have seen times in the past where, the difference between beginning of August and beginning of September, the market could be significantly different. That's something we keep an eye out for. It doesn't necessarily mean that it will be, but we have seen some years where the market, if we're going to see a drastic short-term change, we usually see that around this time. So we'll be keeping a close eye out in the first few weeks of September to see if it's more of the same or see if we see any sharp changes, because that kind of 2 week break for most consumers can really change their mindset and can really have a sweeping change across the board. So we're going to keep a close eye out to see if we do see significant changes or if not. And we've also seen lately a lot of serious talk from the Fed about rate cuts. Now, while we haven't seen any actual rate cuts yet, simple talk and promise of that will likely change consumer mindset. I've got a lot of buyers that I'm working with all of a sudden that are now dipping their feet into the market because of the anticipated mortgage rate cuts. So it'll be interesting how broad that change in interest is and how that affects the overall market. The anticipation is that will actually increase competition. Hopefully it'll bring more inventory to the market, but also that'll increase competition, and the anticipation is that it will increase demand more than supply, and while we might see more options for you home buyers, it'll likely be more competitive and see continuation of these high prices and bidding wars. So that being said, let's get into the stats for this week to see what's happening in the Morristown and Morris Township areas. This past week, we saw only 6 homes come to the market. 3 of those were in town and 3 of those were in township. 5 of those were single-family houses and 1 of those was a condo or a townhouse. And the average list price of these homes was $774,000. Now, we didn't check in with you last week, but last week was even lighter than this week. Total inventory is down from 2 weeks ago when I last checked in with you to 37 homes actively on the market. So we were in the high 40s 2 weeks ago, and we're down to the high 30s this week. I'm not too concerned about that. Like I said, really low activity these few weeks. I'm curious to see. I'm hopeful that number jumps right back up in the next week or two, but we will see what actually happens. Sold homes. We saw 9 homes sell this past week. Average list price of those homes was $864,000. Average sale price of these homes was $947,000. So homes this past week sold for an average of 9% above list price. Not surprising at all. That is, based on the deals that I'm doing, right in line with where the market is in terms of deals being established right now that are not closing for another month or two. Under contract homes, We saw 7 homes go under contract this past week. Average list price of these homes was $801,000. And days on market, median days on market for these homes was 38 days on the market. So longer time on the market for these under contract homes. However, being where we are in the market, like I said, a lot of sellers are not putting their house on the market these past couple of weeks, are holding off. So a lot of the deals being put together, a lot of the homes going under contract are more likely homes that have sat on the market longer, because there's not a lot of fresh homes to go under contract. You know, being the end of summer, a lot of the people, buyers that may have wanted to buy late spring or early summer, might be a little more willing to compromise and make a deal on those homes that have been sitting on the market for longer. You know, like I said, we've got a lot of light activity this past week. I'm really anxious to see what we come across in the next week or two after Labor Day. But until then, I hope you really enjoy your Labor Day weekend, whether you're going away or enjoying. There's so many local things to do around here. And I'll catch you after all the kids are back to school next week.